Okay, carrying on from last time, we just still adding a few more little hairs to our little mouse. You can keep going around over and over. You'll keep spotting little places that need more hair. If you need to go back and polish a bit, you can do that. Right, I have got the very fine rat's tail in now, and it is nice and sharp. I've made sure that I've taken the top off, ground it down a little bit again to make it nice and sharp. Get to the fresh diamond dust that's on the edges. And we are just doing the little skinny bits coming off the side of the wheat. I do not know what it's called, so maybe somebody can tell me. You have got to do these in one easy stroke. Don't follow any particular lines. What I like to do is look to my destination. So you put your burr down at the starting point, look at the destination, and just go there with a flowing stroke. If you feel like you're starting to wobble or go off at a really bad tangent, just stop. Pick your drill up. Don't go over it again. Just pick it up and leave it. These are very random. I'm just making them up as I go along. I have checked the average sort of length of them from the picture. You can see I had a tiny little wobble there, but that doesn't matter. I am actually dragging those straight across the mouse's tail. You can put them in the front or behind. Cool, this music is just about putting me to sleep. Right, here we go with the bottom one. I like the way they just randomly can cross each other. That's quite interesting. As I say, I'm making it up. and I'm probably going to turn the glass upside down because it's going to be pretty... Oh, I'm not going to turn the glass upside down. Surely I am. Nope. I managed to get to there. You can see that I am working sideways on and going upwards. You just got to get comfortable and see which suits you best. Now obviously I'm not pressing very hard. There you go. Right, what have I got here? A green stone. And that I am just going to work into the background, the middle sort of area of the wheat, just to fill it in, bring it up to the surface. Add another dimension. As I've said before, I don't like to see holes. There mustn't be holes in it, even if it's something that's got to be completely black. It needs to be engraved and polished back. Now, I obviously have thought it's a bit rough, so I'm just running up against the stone, which just smooths it a little bit. And so if there were any little rough lumps in it, that usually takes them away for a while, so that it's a little bit smoother, a softer tone, if you like, because we are going to polish this as well. Oh my word, this music. Hold on. I think I've had enough for the moment. Let's get rid of that, I think. That's better. Right, so now I have turned the glass upside down so that it's easier to get to the bottom one, because the stem was, and the base was definitely in the way. So turn it around, do whatever you need to do to be comfortable. And again, just filling in the background areas with the stone. So we've cleaned it off nicely. Now let's see what's going on. I've put, that's what I've done. I have added some teeny tiny little feet. Actually, in the picture I kind of made those up, so I sort of pasted them in Photoshop, and I've drawn them onto the glass with this little permanent, very fine marker, and it just makes sure that the ink stays on the glass a little longer. I mean, there's nothing stopping you going straight in there with your drill if you know what you're doing. I'm just demonstrating to you the simplest way of getting things a little bit more accurate, and so that you can engrave it more confidently. And these are three or four tiny little toes. I feel like calling this little mouse Oliver because he looks like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more? Oh dear. Right, so I've got a tiny little diamond ball burr. And you'll see I won't be able to get all that permanent marker off. It has gone into the engraving, but it does come off very easily with a rubber in the drill, or a little bit of diamond or something, whatever. Here I've grabbed a rubber, and I'm now going to pick up all the bits of shadows, referring to the picture as usual. It's just the impression of wheat, and if you are a wheat farmer, I do apologize if it's a little bit dodgy. And I'm calling it wheat. It might, I mean, I searched wheat online, but sometimes up comes barley, and well, you never know, it might be barley. But you know what I mean. You will notice there's a sort of a slight discrepancy between the tail, what have I got here, tiny little rubber, between the tail coming up and the bottom half of its little body. There's a gap there where you really feel there should be something. I do fill that in a bit later on, because at the moment his tail doesn't look like it's attached to his body, so that we deal with later. Right, I've rubbed off the ink that was there. That's gone now. There is a rubber disc. And here we go. It will mainly pick up, of course, the upper surface. It, because of its hardness and the area of it, it will only pick up the upper surface. It won't go in to the depths of the engraving, which is exactly what you want, because it makes the kernels look like they're sticking out, which is fine. Sorry about the glare of the light, so bright. I have found the shape of a brandy goblet very difficult to photograph it. The reflections of the lights and general reflections really make it difficult to photograph and film because of the shape of it. Okay, little white Arkansas stone again, and I think I'm going over the stem. Yep, going over the stem a little bit, defining it a little bit more. It actually cuts nicely into the glass, this one. Later on, I think off camera, I make those stems a little bit longer, in fact. Because I kind of almost join them up to the stem of the one that I will eventually put on the back of the glass. So just holding it and carefully going over this, working dry, it cuts so beautifully in to the glass, and it has a really soft tone. As I say, that burr I use to fix any little chips on the edge. I can't stand to see a little chip on the edge of anything. Lovely little half tone under the tail at the top where it's coming down. And here I'm just going to fill that in a little bit more. And with the hard rubber again, the rubber disc, just adding a little bit more shadow underneath the body area and into the body. It's a fantastic tool because it just instantly gets rid of any halftone and just blackens it. Yeah, it's a great tool. The Old Faithful, the old rat's tail, nicely sharpened, just adding some highlight to his little toes. Or some nails, possibly. Nails, claws. Seriously. And a little ball diamond. This also in the Leslie Pike glass engraving starter kit from Eternal Tools. Just adding a few highlights and finishing off the points. I do add a few more of those long skinny bits right at the end that come over the front of the mouse, because at the moment it doesn't look like there are any in it. I don't know, just adds another dimension if you layer stuff. And a few more highlights to the one on the bottom. Give everything a wipe. I always use these little kitchen towels. They're really nice and soft, and they do a jolly good job. Right, so what I'm doing now is I'm showing you that I have printed my bit of artwork twice. The second one is a mirror image, which looks like it's nice and wet. I always manage to get it wet. And just, I mean, obviously you can freehand a wheat on the other side, just draw it on. But I'm going to show you basically if you want to trace the thing on, because it's on the other side and you're going to be looking through the glass. I've just stuck it on. I'm going to be doing the middle one, and just putting it at an angle that is going to look right. Whoops, hang on, come back down. I'm trying desperately to show you. And there it is. I've traced it with the black pen. Now you can get an idea. You just check it before you engrave it. You get an idea of the positioning. And so your composition looks nice from the front. So now I put the bit of white paper behind it so that you can see what's going on. Starting with the white Arkansas. Now, just for fun, I'm doing this a completely different way. I'm outlining each one, whereas you will have noticed when I did the other two at the front, I went straight in with the diamonds and I just gouged them out, tracing from the picture. And then this one, I have drawn it on. It was a more efficient way to see the whole composition clearly. And then I'm very, very lightly going around the outlines so that I can take away the white paper and use water. Because if I use the water, initially the pen will stay there, but it will start to lift off quite quickly. So this way it's easier. And the long skinny things will wash off. I don't think I worry about that. I think I just add them in the end anyway. Right, here's the old stone that looks a bit worse for wear, and I'm going to sharpen the top. Oh, so I am going to do the little skinny things. Good heavens, I must find out the name of them. The hairs, it's like long hairs up the side. There must be a scientific name for them. Right, so we've got a nice sharp burr. Will I work dry or wet? Now I did the other one wet, so this one we're going dry. And as long as your burr is nice and sharp, I'm pushing it away and I think I'm trying to demonstrate to you with my hands that you put your point down and you look to where you want to finish off. And that's what I mentioned earlier on when we were doing the ones on the front. So my eye will be at the destination, not following the burr. Because if you follow the burr, that is the easy way to go offline. And before you know it, you've got a wibbly wobbly one. Okay, off we go. There you go. So, I don't know what I'm pointing at. I have no idea. I don't know why I'm pointing. When I'm engraving, I'm sort of thinking of things I need to be telling you. But of course I'm not speaking, and it's only much later that I do the voiceover, and I was probably talking about the composition layout. Who knows? Anyway, it looks all right. I think there I was just shoving something underneath because I needed it to be lifted up at an angle so that I could get to the bottom. So there we go, working wet with a nice sort of medium-sized diamond and pressing slightly heavier and then flicking upwards. And they seem to have a little almost like a leaf effect, if you know what I mean. But as I say again, this is not a botanical study. This is just a rough idea. It gives you the impression of a wheat. This crystal, and especially with a nice new diamond, and especially with water, it is like carving into butter. It is so soft and very easy to engrave. you'll find that if you are engraving on something like a wine bottle, or hard soda glass is very difficult to engrave neatly. I find it quite unsatisfactory because your end result is dull in comparison. So you can spend all that time creating this masterpiece that will never look its best because if it's done on awful soda glass. But a good quality normal glass, okay, not necessarily lead crystal, but the modern glass these days is really lovely. There's a modern glass called crystallite, which hasn't got a lead content, and it's really bright, and especially if it's quite thick, it engraves quite nicely. But my favourite still remains lead crystal. Right, I decided we need a little bit of music again. Green stone and filling in the half tones again. I can't remember if I used water on the front. You can use it with or without water. It's slightly smoother with water. But as I've said before, with water your stones will wear down faster. Soft grey rubber. Pick up those shadows again. And back to the hard rubber disc. Pick up some slightly darker areas, picking up the ridges again. And back to the little white Arkansas. Now, because I outlined it with that, I've got tiny little areas here and there which I just need to fill in that are sticking out. And I'm sort of blending it up towards the little skinny hairs. I know you're all laughing at me. Hold on, I'm going to find out what they're called. Hang 5. Right, haha. I was right, calling it a kernel, that's fine. And these long spiky things are the beard. So, how about that? I've learned something. I've had to Google it. So you've got the whole head, and then each little kernel, and then the beard. I would never have called it a beard. That's really odd. So just blending up these little end bits, making them nice and neat. Back to a little diamond, working dry, just giving it a bit of highlights here and there. I think I've paid more attention to this one than the others. And back to my very fine rat's tail again. I'm just making it neater still. White Arkansas, and sorting this little stem out. As I say, I did make it much longer, and it has come down and almost joined the others. Now, a little diamond. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Let's see. Don't think I do either. You know what I mean. Okay, most importantly, the signature. All done. Bet you I'm going to add a few more hairs down in his little bottom area. Yep, here we go. Got a little rat's tail again. Just filling in that area where the feet are. I will probably go in and just neaten the edges of the that's a little rubber where the kernels meet the beard on these front ones, because they're not as neat as the back one, so I will be doing that. Bit more shadow under the body. So here I'm spending a little bit more time going and pressing a little bit harder, going across the body with a very, very sharp rat's tail to come over the front of the mouse, just to give it that dimension. And if anyone knows where I can get my hands on decent music score, I am very limited to music score. It's nice to have music in the background, but I don't have that much in the program. One can't just add any old music because of copyright, so obviously it has to be copyright free. Right, little Oliver is complete, and you can see I have made those stems longer at the back there. They almost join up. That is so cute. Do remember to put your signature and the year. It is so important. And so it's finished. There's little Oliver, all complete. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have fun engraving your little mouse. Thanks for watching.